7-Eleven convenience stores. Think of those and what comes to mind. Slurpees, big gulps maybe. They're famous for Slurpees and big gulps. But now the chain is serving up something else at some Ontario locations. Mike Crawley is with me in studio to talk about 7-Eleven serving beer and wine, Mike.
But it's only for consumption in the stores. So it's not a full-fledged liquor license. You're not allowed to carry out the beer and wine. But how's it working? So we actually asked 7-Eleven for an interview and they declined, but they did let us inside one of the stores to take a peek. And so there's 7-Eleven that's here in Niagara Falls. They've got beer and wine in fridges, so it's just like, you know, the soda and the juice, except these fridges are locked, and there's a sign on them that says employee access only, posted on the fridges. It's got to be opened by a staff member. Then there's a seating area that's sectioned off from the rest of the store. It kind of looks like what you'd see in a seating area at a Tim Hortons. Tables, chairs, counter seating, stools, that kind of thing. Now, 7-Eleven has won approval for liquor licenses, these restaurant-style liquor licenses, at more than 50 stores across Ontario. It's pretty much every single store in the province. But they've actually only started serving beer and wine at 2 locations. This one here in Niagara Falls, and another is in Leamington in southwestern Ontario. These are not the first 7-Elevens in Canada to be licensed. There's actually 11 stores in Alberta, and they started serving alcohol in that province late last year. And unlike in Ontario, Alberta actually allows takeout and delivery of beer and wine from those licensed convenience stores.
Okay, so is 7-Eleven, what's happening in Ontario with these 2 locations, is this a step toward that then, Mike?
Yeah, well, that's certainly what people in the industry are hoping. I spoke with the head of the Ontario Convenience Store Association, and he's welcoming 7-Eleven's move into licensed dining. Take a listen.
It's the first step in demonstrating to citizens and people in Ontario that the world won't end because, you know, finally a convenience store with hot food is actually offering you a cold beverage if you want to sit in the store.
Now, even before Doug Ford was elected Premier in Ontario, he was promising to open up beer and wine sales from convenience stores. Now, that was 5 years ago, and Ford hasn't been able to make good on that promise. And that's mainly because Ontario has these rules about where beer can be sold, and they're set out in a contract with the beer store, the big retailer that's owned by a couple of the big brewery companies, Labatt and Molson. And although that contract allows for beer to be sold from grocery stores, you see it in a lot of supermarkets here in Ontario, it doesn't allow for it from convenience stores, but that contract expires in 2025, and all the signs are that in a couple of years, there will be sales of beer and wine from convenience stores here in Ontario, just like across the border in Quebec.
Okay, thanks so much. Mike Crawley.